everyone. Okay, so here we're going to be working on a little tutorial for our patterns. So I'm just going to do a quick start or walkthrough. If you are using Procreate, again, that's totally fine. Use Procreate as long as obviously they're your own illustrations, and they can easily be transitioned into a vector-based graphic. This must be a vector-based graphic, so keeping that in mind when you're illustrating, making sure you realize how those details and whatnot will be transferred to a vector. So I exported my Procreate graphic as TIFF. I brought it into here just to save some time. I already went ahead and clicked the live trace. So from here, I'm sure most of you know, but there's that image trace panel or window image trace. And you can click this without expanding, making sure that when you do that, you just do live trace. You can adjust this from color. This was originally a color graphic, so I would change it to color. It just takes some time to load, so I'm not going to bother clicking away. And then all of these little slider menus, you'll probably have to open up your advanced, or all really depending on your style, your graphic, etc. So it's really varies from one graphic to another. Again, I'm not going to move these around because it takes time to load. So playing with those and getting the best result for your graphic, and then always just making sure that you do you check this ignore white off. So then all these little bits and pieces will be actually knocked through, and you won't end up with a white background. And then that's it. And then you can go ahead and expand, and then that's where you just do a quick zoom and just make sure everything is looking good. So I'm going to break this video up into two just to save on space and time. So here's my graphics all vectorized. So imagining we've kind of done all those things we just discussed on that last graphic here, and they've been popped here. So now everything's been vectorized, and now it's going to be time to build our pattern. So I have a document that is currently here, 18 by 18. So you're going to go ahead and create your pattern on the 18 by 18 artboard. And then before you get started, we're going to go Illustrator, Preferences, and General. And this is where you're going to adjust your increments to 18 inches. I know that seems wild, but it'll make sense soon. So do that, press OK. And now we can just start to build up our graphic. So I'm just going to make sure that all these separate pieces are grouped. So as in the brief, you are required to have some stuff bleeding off your edge, whether it's more of a linear pattern or a pattern like this. So let's just pop some items off to the sides. And just grouping everything. So I have a few things popping out from the top. And I've got some things happening in here, maybe a little swirl. And then with our patterns, if you are repeating some elements, like my pattern is kind of looking like it's going to be, it's okay to kind of repeat the elements. A nice variety is always good, but perhaps maybe changing the color, changing the size, changing the direction. This way you have some variety and it's kind of almost seamless. Or visually seamless as to, oh, that item's been repeated several times. Just to backtrack again a tiny bit, I did build up my color palette here. You can, which I usually like to do, add these tones to my swatches. So this way I do have them all saved. You can even save them into your group, etc. So lots of different things you can do to keep things organized. I'm pretty strong about organization. It just makes things easier down the road. So anyways, jumping back, just start to place these little bits and pieces. Oops. Let's just say one more. So now we can see that we've got these three items that spill off our artboard, which is what we should have, along with this item spilled off the artboard. So we're going to just start to create that pattern so we do get them to seamlessly duplicate. So I'm going to go ahead and select that first graphic, and I'm going to Command C, Command F to paste in front. I'm going to use my down arrow because this graphic spills off the top, so that means I need it to be at the bottom, spilling evenly at the bottom. So again, Command C, Command F, using my down arrow. So now that's going to seamlessly connect. Again, last one here on the top, Command C, Command F, and then just clicking that down arrow. So that's where that increments of 18 comes in handy, because it's now exactly where it needs to be. Now if they spill off to the left side, as you would imagine, Command C, Command F, and then clicking over to the right. So we start to place these items and imagining your size too. So this is 18 by 18. So we don't want to have itty bitty graphics, because thinking about the size of 18 by 18, those little itty bitty graphics in our quote normal basic size at 18 by 18 are going to be pretty small. Unless that works for the style of your graphic, go for it, but that's where a lot of that trial and error will come in handy. So I'm just going to jump over to this graphic here where I have everything already placed, and I'm just going to take a pause and we'll start a new video as to how we can proceed with the rest of our graphics.